Well, good evening, YouTube. Rick Nixon, Nixon's Garage, working on that 1959 Buick Rat Rod. Been working on this thing for 2 years, and well, we got a little bit of progress since the last time we talked. Here's a handful of pictures of some of the stuff that we got done. I modified the rear of the frame to give the seats a little more by cutting this piece off and then capping it off closed. I mounted the original instrument cluster. I built a shifter box and installed the shifter. Put in some fuel tank straps. Mounted a fuel cell and an air tank. Then I mounted a couple of air compressors. Installed the battery and battery box. This is what it looks like in the trunk. Then Dakota and Lachlan took it for the first drive with a headlight for a headlight. Then we loaded it up on a car trailer and took it to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 62nd annual Darryl Starbird show and the Billy Bash. We hung out with some family and friends. They gave us this plaque, and then they called our name and gave us a trophy. Woohoo! I can't tell you how good that felt. Then we pulled it outside, loaded it on the trailer, brought it back home. So tonight, I thought we better get started on finishing up this transmission tunnel from the firewall back to the rear half of the transmission tunnel. Here's a look at where we're at. I'm going to take some tape and run from the front to the back, make some marks every at each probably about 3/4 of an inch or an inch apart back at the rear back here. Then I'm going to transfer those marks to up here so that I can figure out how to bend a tunnel. I like the way this has lines in it. And I think that I can get down to this turn here and this turn here and then run straight back through here. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I could, well, I'll check back with you here in a minute. So I got this side of it taped up, started to mark some of it off, and I came to the conclusion that I don't like it going to the top of the tube as much as I think I would like for it to go to the bottom of the tube, especially down here. So I could make a transition from the top of the tube to the bottom of the tube, or I can start all over and go to the bottom of the tube. Well, no pain, no gain. Here we go. Okay, so instead of stringing tape, I tried a different idea. I took this piece of tape and I marked it at each of those bends. The first few are at 5/8 of an inch apart. Then we have a 5-inch straight section. Then we have 4 bends that are a 1/2 inch apart. Then we have a straight section. And then we have 6 more bends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 more that are a 1/2 inch apart. On this side over here, I marked the center and came to the end of the turn, and it measured about 8.5 inches. Then I got a 6.5 inch straight section, and then it starts into the corner. Because the transmission is right here in the middle of all this, and it kind of sticks out in places, my goal is going to be to go from the center at the top down to the beginning of these 4 bends, and from the center at the top down to the beginning of this bend right here at this top line. So then I took those measurements and transferred them to a piece of cardboard. After doing some calculating and figuring it out, I came up with this drawing right here. My goal now will be to bend each one of these lines so that they'll conform. This line right here will become the straight section, and the straight section here. So I cut my cardboard, and now I'm going to use this press brake and fold it on each of these lines to see if I can get the shape I want. So I wound up with a piece of cardboard. Looks something like that. It's not exactly right, but I think I can trim it and make it what I need. So it didn't quite fit the way I thought it was going to. So I cut this off of one end, and then I trimmed on this much on the other end, and well, then I got, it kind of looks like this. It's kind of close, but what I did figure out is that I just got to figure the math a little better, and I think this plan will work out just fine. Although I missed my mark here at the bottom, I missed my mark up here at the top, it's going to be okay. I got plenty of cardboard, so I'll go make another piece. What I'm really not too sure how to calculate is this arc right here along the front and the back. I'm sure there's a mathematical way to do that, but well, I don't know it. So here we go, let's try something a little different.